Hi, my name's Tommy Myers. I'm a columnist and the co-founder of Oaxaca, and I've teamed up with The Crunch to cook some delicious recipes that are both healthy and great for the planet. This recipe, my breakfast recipe, is a seed and fruit muffin. They are absolutely delicious and they basically use lots of stuff that you've already got lying around in the house. So I'm going to crack on. I'm first of all going to put 3 eggs in a bowl. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you are vegan, you don't have to use eggs, you can use chia seeds, which are a great alternative. Basically, 1 tablespoon of chia seed is the same as an egg. You just pop it up in its place. So I've got 3 eggs there. I've got 200 ml of olive oil, which is lovely, really good fat. And I'm just gonna whisk the olive oil and the eggs. That lovely, and the olive oil will make these muffins deliciously moist, and they'll give it that lovely flavour from all the olives as well. And this is 200 ml of natural yoghurt, which is obviously full of protein. And I'm whisking that in too. Again, if you're vegan, you can just use coconut yoghurt, which will be delicious in these muffins as well. And now for my fruits and vegetables. So I've got a carrot here. You can pretty much use any root vegetable. A beetroot will work well, parsnips are delicious. I had this carrot lying around, so I'm just gonna use that. And that's what's so great about these muffins. They take so little time to make, and I'm just using stuff that's already in my crisper. And I've also got an apple. Now, I always have masses of apples in the fridge. I absolutely love them. I go to my market and buy British apples because they're so full of flavour. There's so many varieties we've got in this country. And it will give you a lovely sweetness, both the carrot and the apple. Or if you're using beetroot or parsnip or pear, they give these muffins a lovely sweetness, natural sugars, which are obviously better for you and full of fibre. And then lastly, the last bit to go in my wet ingredients, 2 mashed bananas. Now you can really use bananas that are past their best. You know, the ones that go slightly black around the edges? That's absolutely fine for this recipe. I've just mashed them up together and in they go. And then that is ready. So now I'm going to sift all my dry ingredients. And so here I've got wholemeal spelt flour. Now it's wholemeal, so it's got more fibre in it. And there's something wonderful about spelt and other ancient grains like kamut flour. I feel they're slightly better in your digestive system than really processed refined flours. So I love it. And you can use it just the same way in your recipes as normal flour. And I'm going to add to the sieve 1/2 teaspoon of salt. There we are. And 3 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2, 3. And just carry on sieving your dry ingredients into the bowl. And now really all I'm doing is throwing in the rest of my ingredients. So I've got 75 grams of soft brown sugar here. Again, it's unrefined sugar, it's got lovely nutty flavour, and it's really not very much, 75 grams of sugar, a whole recipe of muffins. I've got 50 grams of maple syrup. I've got 50 grams of porridge oats here. Again, really healthy, lots of fibre. Now here I've got some mixed seeds. I've got pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. I've always got loads of nuts and seeds lying around in my larder, great source of protein, omega-3s. You can use pretty much any seed you want. And I've also got some walnuts. Again, mix up the nuts. If you prefer almonds, they're great. Hazelnuts would be delicious. I love walnuts. And then, of course, raisins. My children will eat anything if it's got raisins in, and it'll add a lovely natural sweetness. So that's 100 grams of raisins. So here I've got cinnamon, lovely warming sweet spice. So I'm putting in about 1/2 teaspoon, and I'm just going to give a lovely good grind of nutmeg. Again, probably about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. Just stir those round together and just make a well in the middle. So now I'm going to pour my wet ingredients into my dry. And look at the colour of the egg yolks and the olive oil. So rich, delicious. And all that moisture you're adding and those good fats will mean that these muffins last for at least 3 or 4 days. And now I'm going to fill my muffin cases. So these muffins are going to rise, so I'm not going to fill them all the way up, just about 2/3 of the way up. So they're ready to pop in the oven, and I've preheated my oven to 190 degrees, and they'll take about 25 to 30 minutes. So there you are, my delicious seed and fruit muffins. They're good for you and they're good for the planet, and they're perfect for on the go. For more information about the Crunch, visit our website.
Unhealthy lifestyle behaviors associated with increased risk of premature death include things like smoking and excessive drinking and not eating enough greens. The best way to get your greens is in whichever way you'll eat the most of them. And one way to sneak extra greens into your daily diet is with whole food smoothies, a potent blend of good nutrition in a quick, portable, delicious form. The Mayo Clinic offers this as a basic green smoothie recipe combining the healthiest of fruits, berries, with the healthiest of vegetables, dark green leafies. 2 ounces of baby spinach is about a cup and a half. Curly parsley is another mild beginner green to start with. Surprisingly, the sweetness of the fruit masks the bitterness of the greens, such that the pickiest of children love them, along with any adults who would otherwise not be consuming dark green leafy vegetables for breakfast. Or even fruit, for that matter. The average teen may only be getting about 1/20th of a serving of fruit otherwise, and loops don't count. But offering smoothies can have a dramatic effect on fruit consumption for students who do not want to take time peeling or chewing fruits. Who doesn't have time to chew a fruit? But the milkshakey texture of smoothies may not just boost the quantity of fruit and vegetable consumption, but also the quality. Carotenoid phytonutrients, like beta-carotene and lycopene, can exist as microscopic crystals trapped within the cell walls of fruits and vegetables, and they're only released when the cells are disrupted. That's why we need to chew really well. Mastication is the doctor speak for chewing. We either have to chew better, or choose plants that are easier to chew. For example, while tomatoes have more beta-carotene than watermelon does, the watermelon's beta-carotene is more bioaccessible because it has kind of wimpy cell walls, but the cells of other fruits and vegetables are smaller and tougher. To maximize nutrient release, food particle size would ideally be reduced down to smaller than the width of the individual plant cells, but you can't do that with chewing. Most vegetable particles end up greater than 2 millimeters when you chew them, which corresponds to way up here. Whereas if we broke open all the cells, we could release much more nutrition. We can never chew as well as a blender. The particle size distribution from chewing is about what you'd get blending in a food processor for about 5 seconds, or one of those high-speed blenders for maybe half a second. 40 seconds in a blender and you can break spinach down to a subcellular level. Why does that matter? Well, take folate, for example, the B vitamin in greens, especially important for women of childbearing age. Feed people a cup of spinach a day for 3 weeks and their folate goes up compared to control. But even just chop it up finely with a knife first before chewing it, and you end up with more than twice as much ending up in your bloodstream. And the same absorption-boosting effect with lutein, the green's nutrient so important for our eyesight. It's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. But for lutein, the boost was only 14%, so a few extra bites of the whole leaf greens would have gotten you just as much, and some other nutrients such as vitamin C aren't affected by pre-chopping at all. And this is less of an issue with cooked vegetables. This is for raw carrots. Boil the carrots for 3 minutes first, and even just regular chewing can release like 10 times more. But not as much as blended. Intense cooking, boiling for 25 minutes, so damages the cell walls that even gulping down large particles can result in significant absorption. Even then, blending may double carotenoid availability, explaining why we may be able to absorb 3 times the alpha and beta carotene from pureed cooked carrots compared to mashed cooked carrots. So, blending vegetables, raw or cooked, into soup, sauces, and smoothies can maximize nutrient absorption. You went to the store and bought it or toiled in your garden to grow it, you might as well take full advantage of it. Might there be a downside to enhanced absorption though? We'll find out next.
Hello, it's Jesse Mason from Teach Me with Butter Coffee. Now, you might not prefer the taste of butter coffee at first, I don't, but chances are you're going to love how butter coffee makes you feel. Energy, clear mind, you might even lose some weight. I did. So here's how to make butter coffee. Today we're using the pour-over method, so our first step is to rinse our filter with boiling hot water. This mitigates some of the vapor in the filter, and it'll warm the cup so our drink stays nice and hot. After a few moments, we'll discard the water, setting aside our coffee cup. Next, we'll add 2 tablespoons of unsalted, grass-fed butter using Kerrygold. If this is your first butter coffee, maybe start with just 1 tablespoon of butter. Then we'll add 2 tablespoons of MCT oil, which is just a mix of coconut and palm kernels. If this is your first butter coffee, definitely start with just 1 tablespoon of MCT oil. Next, we replace our coffee cone, add some freshly ground coffee beans, and start brewing. And remember, the better the bean, the better the buzz. So patronize your local roaster. We'll bloom the grounds first with just a splash of hot water. This releases some carbon dioxide and other gases trapped in the roasting process. Then we'll slowly spiral the water over the grounds, but never touch the sides of the filter. When we're halfway done brewing, we'll remove the coffee cone and stir our coffee. A vigorous stir with a spoon or fork will do just fine, but we'll give it the sensual foaminess of a latte with a handheld milk frother. I got this one for less than $20 on Amazon. So we'll just stick it in here and give it a spin. With a little slow-mo for dramatic effect. I took this fabulously fatty footage with my 5S. At the end of this video, I'll link to another 5S project of mine. Last winter, during the polar vortex, I built a cheap microscope with my iPhone to catch ice crystals in the active format. It was pretty cool. No, seriously, I was 10 below. I got frostbite shooting that video. Anyway, our coffee cone goes back on, and we finish brewing the coffee. While waiting for the last few delicious drops of coffee to fall, now's a good time to put away and clean our supplies. And our butter coffee's ready. We'll give it a taste. Like sunshine in a cup. And that's all there is to it. I hope you give butter coffee a try. If you do, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel to stay tuned for more Teach Me videos like this one and these two. And until next time, happy learning.
Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite healthy breakfast ideas, and let's just jump right into it. The first thing I do when I wake up is always drink a cup of water. You can add lemon to it, or you can just drink it by itself. I don't like squeezing too much lemon in there or too much lemon juice in there because my water becomes really sour, so I just throw the slices in there. Next, I'm drinking my Fit tea. I've actually been doing this for a while. Today is my last day. I did the 28-day detox, and everything that's in here is all natural. This basically helps with your immune system and promotes fat burning and much more. I will list all those for you guys. And so I just basically put it in a cup and add some hot water. I have my before and after results for you guys. I will share them with you in just a second. So basically what I did was take a picture of the first day when I received the tea, and then took another picture on the 30th day, which was today. You guys can add lemon juice or honey to your tea. Most of the time I just drink mine alone because it's just really yummy. So these are my results, and you guys do have to keep in mind that I've been also eating really healthy and working out. And once you see results, I promise you you'll be more motivated. In the beginning, I would just look at myself in the mirror all the time I wouldn't see a difference until I put the side-by-side pictures from day 1 to day 30. So yeah, don't give up, just try your best. Alright, the first breakfast is this egg white mixed with avocado and some alfalfa sprouts, all on a wheat piece of toast. You're gonna need bread, alfalfa sprouts, avocado, and eggs. First thing I'm gonna do is take one piece of bread and put it in the toaster, and while that's toasting, I'm gonna move on to the eggs. I already boiled my eggs and now I'm just separating the white part from the yolk. I'm not going to use the yolk, but if you guys want to, you can, just not too much of it. So I'm just going to take the white part and cut it into little pieces. And now I'm going to take half of an avocado and remove the seed, and then I'm going to mix this avocado with the egg whites. And now I'm going to put all of this on that piece of toast, and on top I'm just going to put my alfalfa sprouts. I pretty much add hot sauce to everything, so today I'm going to be using some sriracha. And of course we have to have some fruit, and I'm going to have an apple and an orange. Alright, next I have this really easy breakfast. It will literally take you 1 minute to make. Some brown rice cakes, peanut butter, banana, and some cinnamon. I'm going to take my rice cake and spread the peanut butter. You can use almond butter, which is a whole lot healthier, but I don't have that at the moment. So for now I'm going to be using my crunchy peanut butter. I'm going to use half of the banana and cut it into little pieces so I can put it on top of the peanut butter. Last thing I'm going to do is sprinkle some cinnamon, and this is it, really easy. Next is my favorite, which is this breakfast panini. You're going to need 2 slices of bread, 1 slice of turkey bacon, 1 slice of cheese, and some turkey breast, a little bit of spinach, 2 egg whites, half avocado, and 2 slices of tomato and some onions. First I'm going to heat up my pan and add some olive oil. I would say this is about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then I'm going to throw in my egg whites, and after that I'm going to use the same pan. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit and then cook my turkey bacon, and for that I'm not going to be adding any oil or butter or anything like that. Alright, time to build this yummy sandwich, and then I'm gonna start grilling. And this is what it looks like when it's done, and I promise you, if you guys make this at home, this is gonna quickly become your favorite breakfast. Alright, moving on to some more yummy food. We're gonna be making protein pancakes. You will need some milk, some oatmeal, banana, more eggs, and some whey protein. Mine is vanilla flavor. I'm gonna start out with pouring half a cup of milk in my little blender, and then I'm gonna actually put 2 scoops of whey protein. Here you'll see me putting only 1 scoop, but my mixture ended up being a little watery, and when we make pancakes we want it to be thicker. And then I'm gonna put my instant oatmeal. This one has walnuts and dates in there. And then I'm gonna put half a banana and my egg whites. I'm gonna blend all these together and I'll be right back. For the pancakes, I'm going to be using organic coconut oil. This is really healthy for you, and it will also give the pancakes a lot of flavor. slice up some strawberries so I can put them on top of the pancakes, but you can use any fruit you want. You can use blueberries, bananas, whatever you want. The pancakes are all done. I'm just adding my strawberries and some shredded coconut flakes, and instead of syrup, I'm actually going to be adding some organic honey on top because that's how I like mine. And this is what it looks like when it's done, and it tastes really good. Now moving on to a yummy smoothie. I'm going to pour 1 cup of milk. You can use almond milk too if you want. And then I'm going to put a handful of almonds and some walnuts, half a banana, and 1 tablespoon of peanut butter and some chia seeds. I'm going to blend all these together and add some cinnamon on top, and that's it. The last thing I'm going to be showing you guys is this delicious omelet. You're going to need some onions, some spinach, mushrooms, asparagus, turkey bacon, some shaved turkey. You can add ham if you want as well. I'm going to also add some milk to this. You can add anything you want to this omelet. And I'm also going to be adding a lot of seasoning, mostly curry. This is it for this video. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, if you want lunch ideas or dinner ideas, please leave a comment down below. And also don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you do make any of these food, please let me know how you like them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later.
Following flax and wheatgrass, turmeric is the 3rd best-selling botanical dietary supplement, racking up $12 million in sales and increasing at a rate of about 20%. Curcumin is a natural plant product extracted from turmeric root, used commonly as a food additive, popular for its pleasant mild aroma and exotic yellow color, considered unlikely to cause side effects. Just because something is natural, though, doesn't necessarily mean it's not toxic. Strychnine is natural, cyanide is natural, lead, mercury, and plutonium are all elements. Can't get more natural than that. But turmeric is just a plant. Plants can't be dangerous. Tell that to Socrates. In considering the validity of the widely accepted notion that complementary and alternative medicine is a safer approach to therapy, we must remind ourselves and our patients that a therapy that exerts a biological effect is, by definition, a drug and can have toxicity. It cannot be assumed that diet-derived agents will be innocuous when administered as pharmaceutical formulations at doses likely to exceed those consumed in the diet. Traditional Indian diets may include as much as a teaspoon of turmeric a day, which is the equivalent of about this much fresh turmeric root. If you look at the doses of turmeric that have been used in human studies, they range from less than 1/16 of a teaspoon a day up to about 2 tablespoons a day for over a month, whereas the curcumin trials have used up to the amount found in cups of the spice, around 100 times more than what curry lovers have been eating for centuries. Still, without overt serious side effects in the short term at least, but if you combine both high-dose curcumin with black pepper for that 2,000% bioavailability boost, That could be like consuming the equivalent of 29 cups of turmeric a day. That kind of intake could bring peak blood levels up around here, where you start seeing some significant DNA damage, in vitro at least. So just incorporating turmeric into our cooking may be better than taking curcumin supplements, particularly during pregnancy. The only other contraindication cited in the most recent review was the potential to trigger gallbladder pain in people with gallstones. If anything, curcumin may help protect liver function and help prevent gallstones by acting as a cholecystokinetic agent, meaning it facilitates the pumping action of the gallbladder to keep the bile from stagnating. In this study, they gave people a small dose of curcumin, about the amount found like a quarter teaspoon of turmeric, and using ultrasound, we're able to visualize the gallbladder squeezing down in response, with an average change in volume about 29%. Optimally, though, you'd want to squeeze it in half, so they repeated the experiment with different doses, and it took about 40 milligrams to get a 50% contraction. That's about a third of a teaspoon of turmeric every day. On one hand, that's great, totally doable. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, wow, that's some incredibly powerful stuff. What if you had a gallbladder obstruction? If you had a stone blocking your bile duct and you eat something like that makes your gallbladder squeeze down that hard, it could hurt, So patients with biliary tract obstruction should be careful about consuming curcumin. But for everybody else, these results suggest that curcumin can effectively induce the gallbladder to empty and thereby reduce the risk of gallstone formation in the first place, and ultimately perhaps even gallbladder cancer. Too much turmeric, though, may increase the risk of kidney stones. As I mentioned in a previous video, turmeric is high in soluble oxalates, which combine to calcium form insoluble calcium oxalate, which is responsible for approximately 3/4 of all kidney stones. So the consumption of even moderate amounts of turmeric would not be recommended for people with a tendency to form kidney stones. Such folks should restrict the consumption of total dietary oxalate to less than 40-50 milligrams a day, which means no more than at most a teaspoon of turmeric. So for example, those with gout are, by definition, it appears, at high risk for kidney stones. And so if their doctor wanted to treat gout inflammation with high-dose turmeric, then that's where curcumin supplements might come into play, because to reach high levels of curcumin in turmeric form would incur too much of an oxalate load. If one is prescribed a supplement, how do you choose? The latest review recommends purchasing from Western suppliers that follow recommended good manufacturing practices, which may decrease the likelihood of our buying an adulterated product.